Just across the river, tucked under the shadows and noise of the Brooklyn Bridge, and facing the Lower East Side of Manhattan, is Gleason's Gym. It's always been a boxer's gym. You'll find kids. Training is serious. It's where you find Acevedos.
My hope for my kids in the sports of boxing is that they excel at their best, 100%, you know, and accomplish their top goal, which is being champions of the world in their division. And I know that
18, 17 are the oldest of Ed's 9 children. With the exception of his one daughter, all of them are destined to be trained by Dad. And it's no wonder that boxing plays such an important part in family life. Ed Acevedo has been in the ring since he was 10 years old.
my interest in boxing started back with my father. I always used to be constantly fighting in the streets. And my father figured keep me out of trouble and use my energy positively. He put me in the gym, and it turned out to be, you know, something that carried on to my boys. We're a very close family. And boxing, I guess, has to do a lot with it. We spend a lot of time with each other. And it's a lot of times we argue and we fight just like any other normal family. And we take, you know, grudges home, you know. But all around, you know, wonders for us.
Boxing has done a lot for me because I've always been busy training, and so I never really had time for the streets. No time to really hang out. And my parents also, they were a big part of that also. They didn't want us on the streets because they know what's out there, so they kept us home a lot.
We don't hang out with bad people. A lot of times you get people in this neighborhood that think they're tough. They'll walk around looking at everybody hard, and my brother Nick learned from that because he was walking with his girl, and somebody was looking at him hard. So he turned around and he said, "Hey, what's up?" And I just turned around and I was walking towards him. We were going to fight, and he just went in a book bag. He had a book bag on him. He went in his book bag and he pulled out a gun. And he said, "Oh, come on, you think you're a hero?" And I said a few words after that. Then when I seen he was serious and he cocked the gun back, I just ran. You know, that's why I avoid a lot of looks. Somebody wants to look at me, I put my head down and walk. It ain't bothering me. Now I try to avoid trouble because nowadays people don't fight with their hands anymore. They pull out something, they pull a gun out or a knife, and they'll take your life in a second. You know, within the blink of an eye, you're dead. A lot of people don't get to make it out here. You know, my father always told me, you have to have a positive attitude. So I try to have a positive attitude. And I feel that boxing is my ticket out here because if I don't make it in boxing, either boxing or school can get me out of here.
Life on East 6th Street is tough, and keeping the boys busy is a full-time job. But keeping food on the table for a family of 11 is just as much of a challenge. Ed works 2 jobs, as a security guard for the FBI building in Lower Manhattan and as a night sergeant at a facility on Rikers Island.
I think my father's crazy for doing all of that because he sleeps about 2 hours a day, 3 hours when he's at home. But I love him though, and I know he loves us because he's going out of his way for us.
I survive on 3 to 4 hours a day. You know, I've been doing that for years. You know, and I don't complain. Financially, it's you know, pretty tough. But like when the kids, you know, accomplish what they have accomplished, it seems much easier. You know, when you do go to work and you work 2 jobs, you know, it pays off in the long run. The investment with the kids, you never lose.
Ed's investment in his kids has paid off. Besides winning their divisions in the New York Golden Gloves, the 3 eldest all competed in the National Golden Gloves held this year in Chicago, where Danny made it all the way to the finals.
I think I got a good shot.
Ed no longer trains the boys. That responsibility has gone to professionals. Francis Romano works with Danny, and Juan Rivera, an old family friend, trains Nick and George. In June, we went along with Danny and Nick as they competed in the Eastern Olympic Trial Box-Off in Mount Vernon, New York.
I'm not going to work the corner. I'm too nervous. I'm going to let Johnny Rivera and Francis work the corner. It's too much pressure on me. You know, I want to sit back and observe what's going on and yell and let my frustrations out. I can't do that in the corner. You get penalized or warned.
Managers can't afford to get nervous. Their concentration must stay on the fighter and his performance. Francis knows Danny's strengths and weaknesses.
His strength is hand speed and just his overall talent. He's very physically talented, but he's a 17-year-old kid, and there's sometimes a lack of attention and, concentration wanders at times. He has some bad habits that have to be worked on, but it's more of a thing of just being 17 and progressing, because it takes years to become, to make a fighter. And he is a prodigy in a lot of ways, but there should be no problems with him having a very successful career.
Danny will be fighting Radames Torres, whom he defeated for the New York Golden Glove title. Radames's record, 60 wins, 12 losses. He boxes out of the Bronx Police Athletic League.
He's a good kid. I know him, and I know his brothers. I know his family. They're nice people. So I wish him the best, But once the bell rings, it's strictly business. And I lost to him. I have to redeem myself.
Meanwhile, Huang is getting Nick prepared for his match.
I feel that Nicky's going to be a tremendous pro. If Nicky continues the way he's going, he continues to focus on what he wants to do, and he gets involved with the right people, because this is a game that's changed a lot now. It's all about, money, and that they bring you up right. I really believe that Nicky could be a world-class fighter in a couple of years.
Nick's opponent is Brian Adams, out of Brooklyn's Flatbush Club. His record is 27-6. He also lost to Nicky at the state Golden Gloves.
This fight means a lot to me. Me and Nicky is real close, but I fought him in the Golden Gloves. I feel he got his trophy, so I think it's my turn.
After tense hours of preparation and waiting, the order of the fights is finally announced.
Nicky Acevedo, Brian Adams. Third bout, Danny Acevedo, Radames Torres.
You've met the players. Now it's showtime.
I started out the fight. I thought I wasn't there in the fight, even in the beginning of the fight. And when I caught him with these combinations, it wasn't like I had everything on it. I caught him with a good hook, and I countered off of that, and it hurt him. In the beginning of that was the first round. I hurt him. I gave him 2 weight counts in the first round, and I went back to the corner, and I was telling my cornerman, I was like, I don't feel good. I couldn't get up for that fight. The second round, I boxed him a little, and the third round, I felt kind of lazy, and I was dropping my jab hand, my right hand, and he countered with an overhand left and caught me right at the side of my chin, and it woke me up. That was the cleanest I have ever been hit. And being that I had no energy, it took my legs from me. And I grabbed him a little after that, after the 8 count, and I outboxed him for the rest of the round, and I won the fight. But it was the hardest fight I had in the amateur. It was pretty close. And being that I won the first round by about 3 or 4 points, that's what edged it out. Then again, I did underestimate him a little also.
Nick's match against Brian Adams went pretty much as he expected.
I beat him easier this time. But I looked better, but not as good as I wanted to.
We asked Nick to give us his personal description of the fight.
My personal description is the first round I beat him up, second round I beat him up, and the third round I beat him up. It was a unanimous decision. I won all 3 rounds, and I had no problem.
These Olympic trials were to be among the last matches the boys would fight as amateurs. Their sights firmly set on the future. The big titles and hopefully big money of professional boxing lies before them.
New champion, Bill Lewis!
For 10 more electrifying years, the Brown Bombers' explosive...
Boxing's always been a sport to change a man's life. For those ghetto-bound minorities. If you become champion, the rewards are fame, fortune, and the trappings of a hero. Given all the past and present greats to admire, the Acevedo brothers' idols are close to home.
I really have no idols. I mean, I love a lot of fighters. I like a lot of other people. I think if I would have to pick 2 people, I guess it would be my parents, because they have been the one, my whole inspiration. My father, to keep me off the streets, and my mother, whenever I need to talk to her, I talk to her. I let my mother know everything.
Danny, well, we are real close. I think the closest one I am to is him because he has shown me something different than the other boys. He shows me more compassion. He, like, looks out for me more.
56-year-old Pete Acevedo, born in Puerto Rico, raised on the Lower East Side. Grandpa Acevedo heads up the 4 generations of Acevedos.
I love boxing now because I remember when I was very young, I used to watch Marziano. Marziano was my idol. And Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta, in those days, they were the champs. And I like boxing. That's why I started training my son in boxing.
My grandfather, I love him. He helps me out a lot. He used to come to the gym with me all the time when he was working in Brooklyn. He used to come and bring me home when I was a little younger.
I used to put on boats. You know, whenever they need any equipment or the dues, you know, I just want them to train. You know, because there's a lot of kids that have potential, but they have no one to help them. You know, they can't train, and without training in boxing, you're going nowhere.
But the boys aren't the only ones with plans for the future. Just ask their 16-year-old sister, Tanya.
My dream and aspiration is to be a well-known, successful actress. That's my dream and aspiration.
And what is it like to be the only girl in such a large family?
I think my family is very special because we always together. It's like we're friends, and I mean, we do everything together, and we all love each other. I love having all my brothers. I mean, I kind of find myself kind of special having all my brothers.
Tanya sees only one drawback.
I don't have any boyfriend, so it's not difficult, but when I do, it's going to be very difficult. All my brothers, they'll probably scare them away.
You tell somebody you got like 8 brothers, they'll be like, wow, don't mess with her. And then top it off, oh, all my brothers, they Golden Glove champions, Junior Olympics champions. I don't think anybody want to mess with them.
It's the end of summer, and things look good for the Acevedo family. The boys had hoped for a spot on this summer's Olympic team, but it didn't work out. Now, their amateur career behind them, they face the uncertainties of professional boxing. Their first major decision will be to select a manager. Currently, Howard Bongiorno is their sponsor. The sponsor's job
is to help them out if they're not invited to a tournament out of town, to help them with their airfare, to help them with their meals. They do some part-time work for me on the side here, and I keep them going, in a sense, financially, and I try to be a companion to them and a friend, and it's worked out that way because we're very close.
To me, he's not a sponsor. He's like more like an older brother. You know, we have a very tight relationship. He's not like other sponsors where if you need something, you call him up, all right, fine, I'm giving it to you, and we never see each other until you need something else. He sees us, he'll take us out, we'll go places with him.
I would like him to manage me as a professional because I know he cares for me. You know, we develop a good relationship as friends, like brothers.
All right. How you feel?
It's great. Just feel him out. You know. Well, I know he's looking out for me. He don't want me to get hurt.
They've gotten so many offers, and my way of talking to them was listen to everybody. We've been together 2 years. We're like family. If somebody comes up with something so great, I'm going to tell them to take it. If not, if everything is on the equal, I think they're going to wind up with me, yes. With proper management and proper training, that means being really dedicated, because there's a lot of talented fighters there. What they have to do is train harder and work harder. There's no stopping them. They could all become great world champions, in my opinion.
Mickey's sponsor is Shelley Finkel, manager of heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield and numerous other fighters. But he's made no firm offer to manage Nicky, so Dad was willing to meet with a young attorney, Greg Alaitarakis, who's interested in managing Nicky.
Honestly, the thing that most attracts me to him is that he's a 7-time national champion. I was introduced to Nicky's skills through tapes. His father provided me with some tapes of his earlier boxing all the way through his current boxing, but I have not seen him boxing person. I'm here for the first time to see him do that tonight. Okay, Killer, let's go. 20 seconds. I was with Nicky today in family court in Manhattan. He was there on a matter, on a personal matter, with a question of support for his only child. When Nicky first consulted me on the matter, I gave him some advice on how he could limit his responsibility as much as possible. Nicky came back and told me that that's not his concern, and he appreciated my advice, but his major concern was to support his child. That struck me as, from a 17-year-old boy, that struck me as just an incredible sense of family values, and that impressed me tremendously. As an investment, of course, it translates into dollars. He moves with such ease. It doesn't look like he's exerting any effort.
He'll hook. We go to war, he go to war. Believe me, he can fight. Is that body shot? Where's the hook? Stay in close, Nick. Finish it up. That's it. In there.
Strong, buddy, strong.
Work. Oh, he killing this guy. I know the guy's hurting. Okay.
All right. But the financial aspect is always intriguing. As an attorney, I never shy away from that aspect.
The manager's role to fight is young, is not to push them too fast. You know, it's to start them off and accelerate them slowly. You know, till they know that they're ready to take on tougher fights. You know, and get to the ranking.
Up to now, these kids have been focused, right? They have a strong father, and they have people that care, that are around them, you know, that are always telling them, you know, I mean, this is the way that it should be done.
Let them use the jab now, too, you know. It's not working, no jab at all. Use the jab. Finish off with the jab. Jab, come on.
Well, there's a lot of people that, in this game, that they don't mean wrong, but they don't really know the game, and sometimes they focus the kids the wrong way. Kids could get hurt, they could get involved with the wrong people. You know, there's so many vultures in this game that, you know, you got to keep your eyes open which way you go. But if you're involved with the right people, people that care, look out for you, it's a good game. It keeps you clean, you know, it keeps you clean mentally and physically.
Now that the boys have become prize fighters, how does the family see the future?
For myself, I don't know. I don't ask them for anything. I just hope that they make a good life and that they get out of this neighborhood and maybe find somewhere better to live. That's what I want, is for them.
If I was to make any money in boxing, like real money, I would like to get my family and my kids out here. You know, I like to buy a house where they can have a backyard and just, whenever they feel like going outside to the backyard and play around, they could just be free. I want to move out of here. I don't want to move too far out of here. I would like to move like an hour away, maybe in Jersey, somewhere, in a quiet neighborhood where I could always come back to the city, because this is where I've been brought up 18 years. I can't get away from this place.
I would like to move to Virginia Beach. I've been out there. My family lives out there, and I already liked it when I went out there. It was nice, quiet, and the people seem real nice. They even say hi to you on the street. Strangers.
Two junior Olympic competitors right now, getting ready to compete in about 3 weeks. Josh has won a couple of JOs already, 2 junior Olympic championship. Robbie's won 1, and motivation are they want to beat their brothers' total amount of titles they won in the amateurs. They started younger.
No, I would not like to see Josh and Robbie following their brother's footsteps, because I said that's enough. 3 boxers is enough. I don't know how I would do it. If there was 5 of them boxing, I'd really go crazy.